Hello, hello, hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
All right, and welcome back. It's another Sunday to
That's How You Feel.
Is That How You Feel Today?
Okay.
We
Yeah.
live, baby.
Yeah. Happy
Sunday. Yeah.
Right. We got a special guest in the house today, man.
Yes,
I'm
we
excited.
do. We have our first official guest,
First
and I'm
guest.
excited. So hopefully you boys will be on your best behavior.
Yeah, for the most part.
Okay.
Scouts
Okay.
Entertainment and education is what we're all about. So, of course, we're not going to stray away from that today. And, yeah, we have our very first guest. Absolutely, it's an honor and a pleasure to welcome Diijon DaCosta, Dekalb County Board of Education
Member elect.
Let's go.
That was a mouthful. You did good. You did good.
I did?
Yeah, you did good.
I practiced. I had to ask him, how do I say this?
Right, absolutely.
It's dope, man. I appreciate you for coming on the show, man.
No doubt.
It's exciting. So I'm gonna be straight up and honest. I voted for you.
Thank you.
So
Me too.
We come from DeKalb County school system here in Atlanta, Georgia, Stone Mountain, and to be honest, this fine gentleman, his older brother, he'll tell you the story, but his older brother and I went to school together. We all went to school together, and we grew up. His older Jermaine. I'm gonna tell you a quick story with it. Okay.
Oh.
One day it was after school PE, and we was playing intramural baseball, and we was like, I think I had the glove. I had this guy. I ain't gonna say his name. I don't want to put him on blast. I want to put him on blast. I ain't gonna do it. But I had his glove, and I threw it, and he got mad. He was like, I'm gonna kick your butt at the class. I'm gonna kick your butt at the. I'm like, all right, nigga, whatever. All right. So afterwards, we get into it, and we get into a fight. The two people who seen it was Jamel and our other homeboy Gerard. He watched me whoop this dude butt in his driveway with his daddy watching, and then I walked off with my trombone. But that's just to let you know, we come from an interesting place, say the least, that breeds some dynamic and amazing personalities, man. So I'm proud of you. It's great to see you on the show. I'm glad you're here, man.
I appreciate it.
That's what's up.
The East Side Stories, man.
East Side
Stories.
Stone Mountain. You know how you go. But yeah, so this week on the show, as always, of course, you know who I am. I'm Chucky Love. That's
Cousin Kev.
And I'm the amazing Gay McCole.
And this week's episode is about education and prison reform.
Absolutely.
So I know we've had a couple of episodes where we've been on some serious topics. This will probably be one more. I want y'all to know that even though the content is something of seriousness, it is something that, of course, we... somebody got their phone. Y'all heard that? Yeah, ain't that crazy? But even though this episode is something of context and of importance, I want it to be seen that we can have these types of conversations to where it becomes the normal. You know, it's hard for people to talk about in education now. It's hard for people to talk about the importance of prison reform. And I mean, I was just gonna talk about education, right? That's what I knew, but I saw on your Facebook and on your Instagram pictures of you taking with some prisoners and stuff like that, and I thought that was amazing. So I was like, you know what, Shay, we just gonna do a two for, and so that's how we ended up with the episode. So once again, thank you for coming on the show. First thing, man, what made you want to run? What made you run in the
So it's really interesting, man. But we from Stone Mountain,
right?
East Atlanta Zone 6, whatever you want to call it. But it's just that at the time where I was a part of the problem, so the guy running around Redan High School, running around Stone Mountain, doing what I really want to do. And by the time I actually got my sense together and I went off to college and I came back, and it was like, this is like East Side High.
Wow.
It's just like, nobody's...
Very East Side.
My favorite movie. Lock the doors. Seriously.
Out the doors. Right. I love that movie. Favorite movie.
Yeah. And then you kind of look around and you don't really see mentoring programs, and you don't see things that, we had when we was growing up. Yeah. After school initiatives and stuff to really promote us.
Right.
And it was just like, I had to do something, but just didn't know what to do.
Right.
So I was helping this guy out on his campaign just for the fun of it, because I was, social media was just now starting to become booming, and I was just like, yo, this is dope. He said, man, you should run for something later on. This was 4 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was like, nah, bro, just chill. Let me just...
What's this politics thing?
And then as I really started to focus into it, I was just like, wow, this is what it feels like.
Really making tangible change.
Correct. Yeah.
Being part of the solution. And
correct.
Like you said, instead of being part of the problem.
Right. Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying? And just letting everything just go to the wayside back then.
Yeah. So I'm sorry. You
no,
want to say something?
No, you keep talking.
Yeah. Oh, my bad. My bad.
Yes, man.
Yeah. So 4 years ago, I actually had that vision of running for something. It was either commissioner or board of education.
Right.
And I tell everybody, you know, it was really God's plan.
Wow.
Because there's no way in hell. Can I say hell?
Yeah.
All right, cool. There was no way in
The
hell.
only person who keeps us from talking like that is her.
All right, cool. There's no way in hell
It's in the Bible. I'm with it.
that I could imagine myself at this position.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? From the background where I came from what I got myself into, and then now the youngest board member for the DeKalb County School District. You know what I mean?
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. So just being focused on like what was really going on, and then said, all right, sit back and watch. And right when that time came, I was just like, submit. Let's do it.
That goes into from our topic from last week of this setting the goals and getting the thing and going for it. So yeah, that's good. That's definitely awesome.
Man, I'm almost speechless, man. Just watching you talk like that. That's what I want more of us to be able to know is capable for us. You know,
correct.
I think we feel like, because first and foremost, most of us feel like we can't vote, or like our vote doesn't count. Or I tell you like this, I guarantee you he wouldn't have been in office if we wouldn't have voted for him. And it's important that we get people in these positions that we respect, and have people that look like us, that speak like us, that understand, that come from the same communities. Because who else is going to understand than us, right? And I think it's just amazing to see people that I know not only becoming entertainers, but more so people
affect change.
in
Absolutely.
politics and lawmakers, and in this case directly affecting the youth and the community in which we're in, man. You know, so however you got to this point in your mountain, congratulations.
Absolutely.
And,
appreciate it.
Yeah, God bless you and everything else you got going, man.
I think a lot of people forget that the community stuff, when it comes to the voting, that's where we really can affect the most. The presidential part, it's not that we can't affect it, but it's not as effective as we can be on a community level, because you know of the electoral colleges and all that. But within your community, you can make a real change by voting. And I think that a lot of people take that for granted. You can't get people to come out and vote for the community elections, but now they all up there trying to vote for the president.
Correct.
And it's who we voted for to get into those other places that really have the vote. So, yeah, definitely congratulations on
Appreciate
that.
it.
So, you want to ask the next question?
Well, I mean, did I even ask you about you? Tell us about you, man. Let's people
Give us
know
a little
like your
background.
name.
Oh, man.
People don't know nothing about you, so yes, do that.
All right, so I'm Diijon DaCosta, and founder and CEO of the DeKalb Kids Project. Currently now, DeKalb County School District Board of Elect. But I don't really like to talk about like my accomplishments, because I didn't get here if it wasn't for my failures.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it's also good. I had to learn this too. Is someone in my position, I guess, who do stuff, whatever. You also got to take that too, though.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Your accomplishments, man, because we might be the lucky ones in positions to take care of this stuff, and when you're doing a good job at it, you got to kind of pat yourself on the back, because if not, you'll probably burn out. You're probably not. You know what I mean? So take a moment. It's okay to breathe and be like, yeah, you know what? I did do this, and I did. We can't let it get too high and get our egos in it, right? But man, I'm proud of you. So be proud, man. Don't be like that.
I get what you're saying, but I think I had the mindset of that there's more that needs to be done. So if I see myself at this high place, right, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you really have nowhere to go. Yeah. So it's about like being humble, really.
Yeah, I love it.
Yeah. So I'm still just a East Eye kid, man. Just trying to get it. Trying to get it, man.
Yeah. I love it. So I guess we all had questions, and then we're gonna end up getting into our most pertinent news and stuff like that. I did have a question for you. You asked yours, right? Cause I'm
about to say I got a question.
Yeah, well, let him do his first. Go ahead.
All right. So like before you started running or whatever, like like your vision for basically when you came back? What was your vision for what you wanted to be able to bring to Stone Mountain? Like, because I looked you up. I started seeing like what some of your principles are that you're running on and out there, and some of the programs you do with the youth and helping seniors get jobs.
Correct.
And, just keeping, like you say, keeping them busy out the streets. Just upgrading their skill set, just getting them ready for the real world.
Correct.
You know what I mean? But like what was your real vision? Like, is that just because I'm guessing it seemed like they're really under resourced out there. So it's like first somebody has to come in and just has to do a whole lot of work just to make it a regular acceptable school. You know what I'm saying? Like those things, the things that you are doing should. Or you're they should already be the standard. Correct. They should already be going on out there, but you got to go out there and do that first. But I was just saying, is that like your main objective, or did you have visions bigger than that for Stone Mountain, and you just have to do that first, or
Yeah. So so it's two different visions that I have. The vision of actually running to see what I can, put into the district, that we really don't have, right? So it's like pushing more resources to our kids, educating
Windows.
them.
Oh, Reed ain't got Windows.
Yeah,
now.
we have Windows. Stone just got Windows too, man.
Yeah. Stuff like that.
Like really starting to understand our children, things like that. Like, why is the North and the South different? But then as you get into it, it's like another vision. Like, now we need to move this money here. We need to stop this because it's not a lot of resources. When you think about resources, right? You think about the after school initiatives and like the school lunch and just different things. Like, where's it going?
Where's it going to come from?
Where's it coming from? You know what I mean? So,
and that's up to
the
us.
rectangle pieces, man.
Like, school can't raise our kids. It's up to the parent. The parents, and that's a large part of it too. Got to buy in. Got to.
Yeah, and being able to allocate the funds that you do have the most effective way.
Correct.
So I know that's a big thing in times that I've worked, not necessarily on the elementary, but more on a collegiate level, is trying to allocate the funds that they have given you the right way to where it's the most effective.
Correct.
I'm sure that in itself is like Tetris.
Yeah. It's like having one arm tied behind your back or something.
Right,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
And then one day, then both arms gonna be free, and now you can be able to just be able to
use all your limbs. Oh Lord Jesus.
But that's my question.
So do I go with mine?
Yes.
Okay. My bad. Well, speaking of being a kid,
being taking medicine.
Right. Yeah, Tetris was my game, man. So speaking of that, so let's say I'm a kid that still play Tetris, right? And I see someone like you on television, and I'm like, man, that guy looks cool. I want to do that. How do I do that? If I was a kid and I was interested in maybe being a part of the community or a part of some sort of educational initiative or even being a politician, hell, how would I go about doing that? Or what do I do if I just want to get involved or something?
Well, so what I tell my students now is that the me I see is the me I be. I had a program that in my head, like, this is what I want to be. You know what I mean? And I had to keep going down those routes and those avenues just to get there. No matter if there's going to be like these roadblocks. Because, as a kid, you really don't see these type of things. You want to be big like Chucky Love and the fam. You know what I mean? But they don't understand that you go through different obstacles. So you just, really stick to the plan. So I usually tell them to, first is a vision.
Absolutely.
Right? Then after the vision is a thought. And from the thought, you can start to see things in sight. And from the sight, it's words. And then from words, it's actions.
Absolutely.
So if you continue to follow all of that, man, and I tell, even in a relationship, bro, if you can follow every single one of those, those words, then I think you can do it, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Message.
Programming.
You would have been great on last week's show.
Dreams
and goals.
Dreams and goals was last week's show. That's how I was thinking too.
It's about tying those two together.
Yeah.
All right, now you got your question?
So my question
that was a great answer too, man. It was amazing.
My question is, it's funny because me and Mr. DaCosta, our children been going to school together since kindergarten. Correct. That's what I realized. Friends, I told them, I was like, did you bring her to a birthday party?
That's dope.
So it's really funny. So yeah, I voted for you because I saw you around the school, and it's funny because I realized you had a twin after that. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought, okay. But my question is, as a parent, And I think that that's one of the balls too that sometimes dropped within our community. So as a parent, how can I get more involved? How can I assist in areas to be able to make things more effective? Because I think that as a parent, I've seen where other parents, you know, a lot of it's time, because a lot of times we're trying to make ends meet and things like that, and the kids get the ball get dropped with them. Not so much because we're looking for the school system to raise them, but it's like they're part of the village. I'm really big on the village part of it. But even in them being a part of my village, I still have to bring in things to the village in order for us all to, you know, make things go. So my question is as a parent, how can I be more involved? What are some of the needs that I could be able to say, well, hey, I can come and do this or volunteer that? I know we were talking about a couple of other things before the show. So that was my question.
Well, I would definitely first say that, you know, as a parent, you have to identify the things that you don't want to repeat the cycle of.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So my parents both didn't graduate college. My dad actually dropped out probably like in the 6th grade. You know what I mean? So they encouraged us to, you know, get your education. But they was also there, you know, at the PTA meetings, just being visible. You know, just because if you just think about it, you know, I may not know anything about the PTA, but if your parent is in the building where you are giving trouble at, you're gonna tighten up. You know what I'm saying?
Even for a couple of minutes.
Exactly. So involvements can definitely go from just texting the teacher, just like, hey, what's good? You know what I mean? Or, you know, anything that has to do with, you know, the communication between.
And they got it now so easy with the apps and all that.
Exactly.
I mean, there's really no excuse now. Like every day you can see every single.
Apps? What do you mean apps? Absolutely.
The school they have like campus portal and infinite campus, and it's one called some dojo type.
Sound like y'all saying some good names. Somebody say them so our listeners can check out some of these apps that y'all talking about.
Infinite Campus, Class Dojo, Google Classroom.
Yeah, so like you see them instantly. As soon as they do their work, it pops right up. You see the app. So they come home and you like, why you got a 0 in this? You ain't turned
hear that.
And it tells you they don't go to class.
Right. All that. And a lot of times the teachers send out. They got like automatic emails. They'll send you, or you get automatic phone calls. Your child's not at home.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So
I need you to download that app.
So the communication part is increasing on the school behalf, right?
Exactly.
Because of technology, it is.
Yeah, the technology, but now it's just for us to take that initiative to use it
and be effective.
And be effective.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with that. Great answer. Thank you.
Okay, well, that's it for the quick questions that we have for you. One too bad, right?
Not
sweating, so it ain't too bad.
Hold on, one last thing. Yeah. For the people that don't know out there, with all with your title or whatever. So are you actually still running, or did you won?
Oh, so I actually won the election.
Okay, you won. Because they both vote. My bad. I ain't vote, man. And I stay on the west side. I don't know if I could have, but
like the elect part of it, like a president elect, that means you won the office and you just holding until
till January.
Get out of the way.
Until
I thought when it's elect, I thought now you're gonna run against the
no. We just wait for the other to get out of the way.
Wait until that term in. So
okay.
So my term don't effectively start until January 2019.
My man, you already in there.
Yeah,
I'm thinking like like they have the Democrat elect, Republican elect, and then they go against each other.
You know like Flint.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we live, baby. Like you always say. All right. What kind of forever? Okay.
So now, real quick, we're gonna move into our wake up news. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Kinda, because I don't know nothing about this first.
Yeah, I ain't heard these. What y'all on paper? Y'all be reading the
about the principal.
Y'all be reading
in Colorado.
They
put that spray painted the N word on the wall.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, tell me, please, enlighten me.
That sound about like something that would happen.
Anyway,
why? But the thing about it is, why would the principal?
Oh.
The principal at the high school responds to the N-word, and his response wasn't a good one.
What was his response? They say
it was some bad people. It was some bad people on both sides.
It was
good people on both sides.
It was more political, but it wasn't politically correct.
It was a lot of people wrong.
Right, basically. It is what it is.
It was good. Good and bad people on both sides.
On LeBron James' house in Brentwood,
right?
And then the $1 million mansion.
Really?
They did. Yeah.
So I'm not surprised. School got it done in Colorado. They shoot schools in Colorado.
Yeah, true.
Is that where Columbine is at?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Taliban movie. Yeah.
But the thing to me with this situation is, as the principal, there was a stand that should have been made at that point that wasn't made based upon his response. You know, the response to what happened. And I think
he shrugged it off.
One of the main reasons with having Mr. DaCosta here is remembering the fact that it's for all children.
Correct.
It's not just for so if it may have offended the black children there, or maybe even more so the parents, because nowadays kids is not as sensitive to the word as others. Right. But at the end of the day, right is
but
right.
But yet they still sensitive. Wrong. They're more sensitive than ever.
Yeah, in that capacity. I know where you're going with it. But what I'm saying is the fact is that it's wrong. Right. And I think that we are at a place where if the people that we have in these positions as a principal doesn't stand up and say, no, I am getting to the bottom of this. We're investigating to find out what's going on, expulsions or, something. And that wasn't the role that he took on it. So I think that's why it made our wake up news, because at this point it's like, wake up America. We here together. There's no separation. And ain't no boats coming to take us back to Africa. Well, none of those things. So it's like we have
I can't wait until we get into that conversation. Together. That's another episode. Yes. We will get into that.
Yeah.
And I tell you like this,
Marcus Garvey did it.
He the only.
We seem to be very separated. I wish it wasn't like that, but
we're definitely closer to the separate, but we definitely are equal, not in our capacity, but we're a lot closer
equal
than
at?
we were. Where we closer than we were.
I love the optimism.
Leaving.
Yeah. So the next one was about Raheem Howard was released from jail after being falsely accused of shooting a Baton Rouge officer.
He sounded like he did it. See, now I'm just joking. Now, see, I wanted to say that because, that's what we tend to do, right?
Yeah,
like, we don't even know.
Right.
I'm guessing he probably did about 26 years before they found this out or something.
Right.
See? He did a good bit of time.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he's definitely wasted his youth.
And they get and he just get a my bad and
but the thing is, where the reparations for?
They give him a Greyhound ticket. That's all they give him.
What?
No.
And the martyr card.
Reparations coming from false accusation. Like you can actually sue. These people make
paid, right? You're supposed to get some millions.
A lot to get it. And you have to settle on a certain amount or whatever to get it. But so
they might get 100 bands for 26.
Let me be the first to say Raheem Howard is now a millionaire somewhere. Coming out.
Hey,
you can't necessarily repay him for his time, but you can make time a lot better with the money. So congratulations, Raheem.
Also, he already won the money.
No, he gonna get a
civil suit.
He's definitely gonna do a civil suit. Yeah. So at this point, we want to thank you guys for making it through our first half. We're going into one quick commercial.
Oh, okay. I guess we're going into our one quick commercial, and this would be the moment in time in which we would definitely have you guys contact us to let us know not only how you feel, but we would also show our sponsor. So anybody who would like to donate, please feel. Donate? I thought I said that.
You did donate.
I meant to say donate.
Yeah, donate.
But anyone who would like to donate or any sponsors, please contact us at booking. That's how you feel. You is actually YOU because the intern thought we spelled it regular, but we don't.
I called him out last time.
I called him out last time. I'm gonna do it every time until they change the email.
Moment with that?
I need them to change the email. Anyway, because it's confusing to me.
No, it's not.
It's not the name of the show though. It's YOU, not you. I mean, it's you, not Y. Okay. Anyway,
see how easy it is to get confused.
I know. All right, so that'll be it for right now. We'll be right back.
All right, welcome back.
Welcome back to the show, everybody.
And go ahead. I was gonna say today
is a special day. Yeah, right. Like we're in a whole nother day. Right. Y'all was finna do it. Today is the day where everything will go your way. Today is the day that I'm not finna do it.
That you was born. Something.
Ryan Cameron, shout out to you, man. You more than welcome to come to the show too, man. Atlanta Pioneer.
Birthday song.
Yeah, absolutely. So we're back talking about education and prison reform. Lord, see, if I get out with them, we'll be gone.
But no, it's all good. No, but we was here. You went with me this time. You know what I mean?
And I was the lost one.
Right.
Now let me bring it back in. We're back with Diijon DaCosta. You know I gotta bring these two in. I'm Kev. I'm McCole. I'm Kev McCole.
Kev McCole. I'm at
because you know how they do. Because you know how they do.
Try to be funny, yeah.
All right. Welcome back to the second segment, everybody. Of course, we are going to use this segment to focus on. Well, of course, the topic today is education and prison reform. So we're going to open up this part talking about education. We want to kind of focus on that. That's more so, especially your area of expertise. So I'm starting off with that. I know for me, in my own personal life, I'm very fond of educators. First off, I think it's insane that we are offering teachers guns instead of pay raises, right? I think if teachers were paid more, not only will we see that effect in our children because they'd be more excited to come to work every day, right? You get paid more, you'd be more excited to do the job. But on top of that, more people would be encouraged to actually become an educator. Correct. If it paid more, I'd want to do it. But if they only getting $28,000, however much they make, no one will want to do it. And my mother was an educator or is an educator, and she taught at Morris Brown, Clark Atlanta, and all that good stuff, which is why I'm no idiot. I just act dumb. But
message.
So I ended up having a very fond respect for educators and people who take it upon themselves to make sure that they educate not only to inform but also to raise up and to make better people than what we are, right? And so with that being said, why do you personally think, because I don't want it to be all super conservative, or just why you think it's important for people to know how important it is to be educated, or all that, the cliche answer question. I don't know what the hell I'm talking about.
He basically just saying, how important is education?
Right, there you go. Thank you, cousin kid.
Well, I can take it into like several different areas, because like if I put it from when I was young, somebody asking why is education so important, right? But really, the higher my intelligence was, the better women I had.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
You know what I'm saying? And I'm just gonna be real, and that's how it was sent to me. You know what I'm saying? Because you're more open to different conversations, and you can hold a conversation.
Right. Actually,
let's start a little bit.
So
hold a conversation.
Exactly.
WID.
Yeah, exactly. Right. So imagine if without striving to be educated about something, your mind just goes blank, and what your mind is more easily to be controlled,
right? Out of mind
by the streets or anything, that
anything that can catch your attention and hold it,
then it's done.
Yeah. Right.
So education can definitely go into different avenues,
I agree with you. That's good.
And as this side, that was like the young side, and as this side, definitely like the more education you have, the further you will go.
Right.
No matter what, like I can stop doing what I'm doing right about now and be entrepreneur. I can be that entrepreneur, but I have something to show for
something,
it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I know what you mean by that. So that goes, and I'm sorry guys, I was eating a peppermint. I didn't think he was gonna come back so quick. But going into that statement, so like I've always lived my life. I mean, I've been an entertainer in front of the camera, acting, all that good stuff. But I knew the value of me getting my degree in entertainment business, so that my reasoning always was, so can't nobody tell me I don't know what I was talking about.
Right.
I got this degree, which I did graduate, summa cum laude. But I ended up putting myself in a position because I knew no one would respect me. No one would care what I thought I knew. I needed to show it. So as much as I deplore the idea that we have to have these expensive colleges with just $50,000 just to go, I also understand how important it is to have it. Even if you're going to have student loans, I don't condone anybody to have student loans if you don't need to. But if you do find yourself knowing exactly what you want to do, you need that information, you need that education, I do implore you to go and do it.
I think that because I have my master's degree.
Okay,
but on the same token, at the level
she's
that we're
amazing.
speaking of, I really am.
Well, you are.
But at the level of what we're talking about right now, these children are receiving quote unquote free education.
Correct.
You feel so and you're not taking advantage of free education. Mm-hmm. So
I didn't care about public school. I didn't care about college.
You didn't think about it until somebody actually was paying for it. And like all of those student loans, just to piggyback off the student loans part, some of what you're getting for free could save you on student loans if you took the time, because there's so many things like the early college initiative that they have going on. My mom was actually a part of starting early college, so that's why I say on a collegiate level I know so much, because she has grants and different summer education things where the kids get stipends to be able to come.
Correct.
So I think what we miss,
to go to school.
You get paid to go somewhere for the summer. That money that you getting, that's your summer, that's your school clothes money or whatever the case. But I think what kids or people are not taking advantage of is the fact that there are people, even with the teacher situation, there are people out here trying to teach you, but kids are no longer taking advantage of what is free to them, because in my opinion, it's because things that are free that you didn't pay for, you don't value.
Correct.
And so they're not putting the value on education like they should. Everybody can't wait to go to college, but you can't get out of high school.
Correct. But see, I'm gonna tell you something though. If you're not college bound, say you don't have the family that has the college degrees or something to speak about, right? What good is it for me to be in high school if my destiny is not going to college?
Right.
If the system was built for, public school, college, and then career, right? So if I'm not trying to go to college,
what
I'm
are
not
my
interested
alternatives?
in going to school.
Right.
So
then we'd have to determine what our alternatives is. And I know we growing up, that's when the part of the conversation was, if you're not going to go to college, you either going to get a job or you're going into the military.
I'm one of those kids.
I'm one of those kids.
Right.
But that's the thing. That was how I initially even said anything. It's because that's the thing. Even in school, if you're not college bound, because they have that in high school. I've dealt with high schoolers. So you either college bound or, as they would call it,
vocational.
Those are the two things. But if you're sending them to the vocational school, then it needs to be something that they actually can really make a living, not just
it's a where
we're fixing cars. Guess what? I don't necessarily want to go to college, but I want to be the next best car automotive fixer. I can't think of I don't want to be that person. I maybe want to go and do some computer training classes, because that's something that's really big, and you don't necessarily have to go to college to do that. To be a
as long as you upgrading your skill set,
like that. It's upgrading those things. But if the programs aren't in the schools for them to be able to do it, and then they don't have anybody else motivating them, that's when it's an issue.
Correct.
Right.
So,
but I get you on that, because what I'm thinking is, what's unfortunate out of all of these things that we're offering, the one thing that we don't offer is entrepreneurship.
Right.
Like, if that should be a clear option. If you're not going to go to college, if you're not going to go into the military, if you're not going to get a job, I say it like that because that's what my dad used to say. Like, boy, get a job. If you're not going to get a job, then you need to figure out a way to start your own business.
But how?
Exactly.
Right.
Right.
So that's why we need more people like y'all to actually come into be that spark into these kids' lives.
You don't know to get them that type of career.
Right,
make a career.
We gotta have more
mentors.
People.
Instill that into them.
He put all the pressure back on me. I was like, man, you the elect, man. You supposed to. I was like, I just tell jokes and make movies, man.
Yeah,
that's a good one.
Right.
Is that what your program is about?
Yeah, it is. The Cab Kids Project. So it's about like exposing our youth to different.
Yeah, tell us about it. Yeah, because I want to be a part of.
It was like working on a pipeline or something. On one. They got some kids that are working on the gas pipeline or something.
Our mentors, they fall from our Stone Mountain area. So for instance, if you want to do radio, so now they have to build their own little platform of how you're gonna get there. And then we, as the adults, do the jobs by like, hey Chuck, man, I got this kid that want to go, and it make it a lot more fun for them. So all we do is build the connects for them.
Right.
You know, we the money
That's
people.
good.
So
Yeah.
now you're the idealist.
Yeah.
So let's set it up for you.
Let's
love
put you
it.
in
Yeah.
position.
Opportunity.
Let's put you in the
That's good.
position to
Yeah.
be able to do that.
Absolutely.
Correct.
Man,
Oh,
that
I
is
like
what
that.
I'm talking
definitely
about.
down with
'cause
being a
the-
part of that.
Oh, no
Yeah,
problem.
we all are. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I mean that's the difference. The difference between just having ideas and things that we're talking about, as opposed to having those same ideas and things, but then also presenting ways to go about them. So I really appreciate it, because it's somebody that's listening that just learned from what you just told them. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that, man.
So I put the pressure back on you, Chuck?
Yeah, you put all the pressure back on me, man. It's like, I don't do all that. I just tell jokes,
Wait,
man.
No, it's all good.
Right.
Cultivate all of our
Absolutely.
Yeah.
With that being said, and the pressure being put back on,
It should be on me, and I'm well with it. Right. Yeah.
So, do you feel like, even with you going into this position, do you feel like our kids right now are being miseducated? Miseducated. Why did I
Like
say
Lauryn
that?
Hill.
Yes.
I know.
It could all be so simple.
I know, right? Okay, that what
What do you mean by miseducated? About
Are they
Or
being
under-
undereducated
Under-
or
He said that's a broad statement. We don't want
yeah,
to
real broad. So basically, no. Is it something that, do you feel like there's a shoe that's been dropped that where you're trying to come in and bridge the gap, like even with your project, bridging the gap of even what you just said about the mentors? Do you feel like it's obviously you saw a need, which is why you decided to develop the program?
Correct.
But within that, do you feel like they're missing it because they're kids that you're not able to touch that need to be able to get that?
I don't know. I think I look at it as, you know, I see the kids that was just like me. You know what I'm saying? So I kind of think about the things that I didn't have.
Right, got you.
You know what I mean? And I think I'm kind of drifting off from the question.
Right, because I don't remember the question either.
Hold
Courtney,
on.
what was the question?
It was
No,
a
are
question.
our kids being miseducated?
Miseducated, but then we was trying to reword it. But yeah,
Right, so basically in the sense of the question is, do you think that they are, which it's fair to say, yes, they are, which is the importance of it. We are, not just we, but all of our kids, no matter, we're not talking just race or anything like that, but more so region-wise or district-wise, however it's broken down, right?
Yeah.
I think we are all being under represented as far as the teachers, the students, the administrators, the superintendents. I think the entire education system, it has to have some sort of
Redirect.
it needs to be reformed. I mean, even the subjects and the
It's
things
the-
that are being taught,
Correct.
should not be
So
the
I
same
think
as what it was
when
before.
I was reading the question from our outline, but I think in the education of it, is there a ball that's being dropped, and with that ball being dropped, how do you feel like we can pick it up, like, you know, to be able to bridge that gap? I took it to what your program was about, because you actually are trying to bridge it with mentors to be able to fill those open places, because like in the classroom sizes and things like that, it's only so much that you can do with it.
Correct.
But a lot of the kids that I'm sure you're able to reach are sometimes the kids that are sitting there like, I don't want to do this, like this don't have nothing to do with what I'm doing when I get grown, or you know, however.
Correct. And you're gonna get that all the time, because you know, like when we was in high school, I'm gonna use with geometry, but you know, geometry is you play pool.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's astronomy if you're trying to do that. If you know what I'm saying, if you want to get real with
soccer,
it.
FIFA.
You know, but I do think that
That's geometry.
well, I can say it like this. My teaching style was different when I taught, you know, human anatomy and physiology and chemistry. You know, I had to bring it back down to their level of understanding, because though my brain level is but so high, man, these kids are still trying to, you know,
Grasp it. Right.
Grasp the fundamentals.
I'm curious, what were your favorite subject? What were your personal favorite subjects?
Back in high school?
Yeah, and has it changed, or has you found your interest being different than what it was in school? So yeah, two-part question. What were they, and then did you find them changing over time?
Well, at first I didn't like school at all.
Right.
Second, I enjoyed math because my teacher was fine.
Well, okay.
So, you know what I'm saying?
What was that, Main Street?
Nah, it was at high school, man. She's married now, but she did tell me if I was to graduate from high school, college, she'll give me a shot. But she got married.
We come from Facebook.
Yeah, I took too long, man. It took long, but yeah, it was math, and then I started liking science for some reason. You know, because then I've been this big why guy.
Awesome.
Like, why is this way, and why is this way? You know, so then I started, you know, liking. Yeah.
Yeah.
Science.
Yeah,
That's dope.
math definitely.
What was that was your favorite subject?
Math and history.
Yeah.
And
Why?
anything with history, because I feel like I can, from my history, I know where I'm going forward, because I know I want to make history.
Right.
So in order to make it, I need to understand.
Damn, girl, that's how you feel.
That's how I feel.
Okay.
Thought you gonna play with my phone.
I
love that movie class act.
And then,
That was my favorite.
It's
and
one of my
then
classes,
math
too.
and math, because I related everything to math, like
'Cause you
playing
about your mind.
cards. I related
Oh,
to
man,
math.
spades.
Listen,
Oh, she a
I'm
cheater.
mad now because I feel like people don't get together and do
She a
like
cheater.
spades.
They don't even know
games,
what
like,
the game is.
Nah, with you-
My
'Cause you
kids
cheating.
know how to play
Right.
spades though.
Yeah.
Like my
Spades
children,
cool.
because I taught the way it worked for me, because this is how my mind thinks, is that I taught my kids how to play spades because I showed them probability.
See, but you messing up the game. You can't.
She
See, 'cause
cheating.
back in the back in the days, back in the days, you had to sit there and watch how they play the game.
Yeah.
and they started playing the game. You
Oh,
got to watch.
no.
You got them kids counting
No,
cards.
I
Yeah,
take them kids to Vegas,
I
man.
use cards to teach my kids probability
right.
because
I don't even
there's
play
only
cards.
this many cards in each suit. So if you see this many fall down, or if you have this many in your hand, don't count these books for that. I did that with spades and dominoes.
Yeah.
And so I think that those
I do that in Uno.
See,
I'm
those
raw
are
Uno.
unconventional
Yeah.
to some
Skip
people
4.
ways to teach.
Make 'em skip.
But I go and volunteer at our kids' school all the
Yeah,
time.
correct.
And when I went to my daughter's, it was when she was in third grade. She's in fourth now. Third grade class. That's how I told them. I was like, okay, so these are some of the things you want to buy. Everybody, I was like, tell me the things you want to buy. Everybody want an iPhone. I want a MacBook. I want this. All of these different things. So I'm telling them how much it costs.
Correct.
This is how much this is going to cost. So now I want you to add up everything that you want to buy, and then you need to times the percentage of the tax. But that's how, to me, you have to meet them where they are.
And I like that though, because and this is my style of teaching was identifying each child's learning ability.
Exactly. Learn.
You know,
style.
'cause-
Yeah, you gotta do that. You can't teach a dog how to climb a tree, because that's not what they do.
Correct.
It's a saying or something like that, right, Shay? I don't sound crazy on the
You
right?
do, but
it's
okay.
It's a saying. Someone knows. If y'all know what I'm talking about, please put that in the comment section.
But no, I agree with what you're
Yeah.
saying. It's meeting them where they are, and even the children who automatically get it, that's great for them. But for the kids that were kind of being left behind, because the 2 + 2 not equaling 4 to them. Like that sounds easy to them, but it's not. Whereas I can take two tangible things for you,
Correct.
put them together, and it's like, okay, now I get it. I think that just having that, like you said, just having a different way of teaching in order to reach everybody, but
Yeah.
really to reach the ones who not getting it anyway.
You know, the crazy thing about teaching was, like, my first year teaching, right? I used to focus on the young males because I know if they don't get educated, what's
Yeah,
gonna
where
happen,
it's going,
right?
absolutely.
But the crazy thing about it was the ones that really needed help was those quiet little girls. 18 years old, pregnant with 2 kids. Well, was pregnant and had a baby
At home.
At home.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
They really ain't studying school.
Yeah. But that's what I'm
Because you're trying to
saying.
figure out how you're going to take care of your child, but the part of you that don't want to not graduate from school
Correct.
because you got pregnant and everybody said you wasn't going to finish.
Yo, man.
So yeah, I speak to a lot of those.
Yeah, we're gonna have
girls
to team
trying
up, man.
Yeah,
We
so
definitely gonna have to team up.
Just in that, there's a thing, because at that point your priorities have changed.
Correct.
The crazy part
Life
is
hit.
your dreams didn't change.
Yeah.
You still trying to hold something to these dreams.
Correct.
And it's possible, but you need people that are there to say, no, you still got this. We're gonna figure this situation out. And not all the time do you have that.
And I tell them it's like the GPS, man. Like you coming down here, it's traffic in the way. Those are the barricades that you're gonna have to deal with, the obstacles, until the GPS really tell you it's time to reroute.
Absolutely.
All right. So now you're gonna meet somebody else or go a different way to get there, but the destination don't change.
Right.
Just the route.
And the thing is so funny, I even add to that, is the GPS ain't always gonna tell you some of the side streets that you can take.
Wow, yeah.
But if you keep your vision open, you
Correct.
say, you know what, I'm looking at this map. There's a street to this way. If I can just make it a little bit further, and there's somebody that's gonna help you to get further to the top. So yeah, that's good. I'm with it. I'm excited. This is my lane. So sorry.
Go for it. Ain't my lane.
I believe the children are our future.
Teach them with
We still ain't never say how they miseducated though. But I think that mainly I think we're under resourced, and you know, with the tenure that teachers get and how you can't really fire teachers, they just pass them around through different bad schools.
Hold on, what do you mean? What?
The tenure once they're hired.
I don't know
off
what you mean. I know what tenure means, but what do you mean? They just recycle the teachers.
It's called something, a chicken something, whatever. It's a circuit.
Right.
You
So
familiar,
let's say
you familiar with what I'm talking about?
teacher.
It's a circuit. Basically, you get in trouble at this school, they'll send you to a worse school. Basically, like bad, and then off of the state scores that these mass state tests, like how you talking about different learning styles, they plot these exact same tests for all of the students statewide, no matter if you're in Morningside, Lenox, or if you're in, you know what I'm saying, down there by Grady or East Side or wherever, and all y'all supposed to be able to answer the same stuff. And majority of the time, what do the kids say? We ain't even go over this stuff. You know what I'm saying?
They practice for the test. That's what it is. They practice for what is on the test, not necessarily.
A lot of that stuff stuff on that test they ain't even learned on that.
That's what I'm saying.
Insert mind blown emoji.
So the people that have the low test scores end up going with the worst of teachers, you know what I'm saying? Bad.
Wow.
So-called bad kids get bad teachers. So-called, you know, the honors classes and all that, they're gonna have better teachers. You're not gonna have a crappy honors teacher. You know what I'm saying? I'm sure you was a great teacher.
But see, that's the issue, and that's exactly the problem.
But they be funneled the way they funnel it around.
Well, that's why Gwinnett County got one of the best school districts in the country, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to everyone else, like that's insane. But they also got money there, and you can see
with those art schools and the charter schools. And
man, I went to my daughter's volleyball game, man. That little Chambly Dunwoody school, man. They had wonderful new uniforms.
Yeah, but look where you was at though.
School was wonderful.
Is that Stone Mountain? No, you talking about like downtown Decatur. You talking about nice Decatur. You talking about Brookhaven. You talking about nice.
Man, Diijon, we need you in DeKalb County, man. We need our baby girls to have some nice volleyball jerseys.
And that's why I'm really glad that I'm at the table.
Yeah, me too.
You know what I'm saying? You know, as friends and parents, like we're the parents now. You know, like really,
it's crazy.
And I'm not trying to call no other political figure out, but we don't see them at the gas station, at the BP gas station, or you know, at the Kroger's and stuff like that.
And that counts.
Or at the
They're not even in
schools.
your neighborhood.
They're not in your neighborhood. You know, only when it's election time.
Right.
You know, and that's
shots fired. Shots fired. No, I'm just playing. I'm just playing. That's not.
No, that's the truth. I heard in the barbershop.
Yeah.
A guy came. It was like 2 weeks before the election, and he came trying to pass out, and he got literally cussed out.
Correct. Yeah.
We ain't even never seen you before. You talking about you around.
Vote for me.
Right. Exactly. You know, but I've been around here. I'm here. You know, I understand what's really going on. So as I soak in a lot of things, I do have a lot of questions that I'm gonna have to address to them. You know, I don't want to make a comment that I don't want to make. You know what I mean?
No,
but trust me, what I'm saying to you is that I see.
Right.
Yeah, I just was trying to see if it was in the credence to what I was like.
I get where you're
those
going.
Things, you know what I mean? Like it's a reason that bad schools stay bad schools and good schools stay good schools.
It's kind of like when you do draft in football.
You know, with the way they zone the
worst
schools,
teams get the draft first.
One year your kid is at the good school, and then all of a sudden they rezone it, and now they gotta go way over here. They gotta ride 2 buses to go to this school. You like, hold on, they just changed it for some reason. Oh yeah, this area just got real nice, Playboy. Now y'all live right outside of here. Now you got to go over there. You know what I mean?
But I think I would say this though. You know, like, cause Redan is a good school, man. I'm gonna tell you. Hold on, and we had great teachers,
love my
right?
teachers, yeah.
But it was really the
there.
environment that we was placed in. You know, cause a lot of our children nowadays are dealing on the south end of DeKalb are dealing with a lot of social and emotional problems.
Yeah.
You know, crack house right next door. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Everything.
Mom getting her butt whooped by pops. You know?
Right.
So we're more thinking about survival than these tests.
Absolutely.
Like this test doesn't.
You're not going.
Right.
The test says get a balanced breakfast before you come to school. Get this many hours of rest. But if
nigga ain't no breakfast,
and I really don't even have no way.
Ain't no breakfast.
You might only eat lunch at school for the whole day.
I might get my job broke fast.
You know what I'm saying? Talking about start the day with this.
You're right.
Exactly.
They can't even be focused on the very thing that we need them to be focused on because of what their living situations are.
Right.
Exactly. And that's what I've run into.
Right.
Why
So,
the mentoring programs and things are so needed because that's what I run into. I go to these schools and I'm talking to these kids and I'm just looking like, oh my God. Like I went and spoke at a middle school. I had 3 girls in the class that was pregnant in the middle school. And I'm looking like,
It's crazy.
I have a 6th grader.
I know.
Like that's a hard one to do. And one of the girls, she was pregnant by her mama boyfriend.
Oh.
So and
What
the
the
mama
hell, man?
know
You
this.
kidding me,
This your
man.
stepdaddy. The mama know this and telling you don't tell nobody because if anybody
She
had to
should be in
leave, you
jail.
gotta leave. So now you don't know where you and your baby going
that's
because
precious.
nowadays we
I
ain't
see.
got
I was gonna say,
that's
precious.
There's no grandmamas.
know.
The grandmamas is
But
our
that's
age.
real.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The grandmamas are our age.
Precious
so now
is
it's just
real.
looking like, okay, I'm not
Hey,
trying
Bernice
to be raising
Burjo,
my
correct.
grandchild.
She like 40, the
you know,
grandmama.
so it's when I say
fine.
it's so needed. Like when I
Yeah.
saw these middle school kids, I'm talking about like 7th and 8th grade. I'm like, my child is in the 6th grade. I
Correct.
couldn't even imagine
I
this.
can't.
My child still think that you can get pregnant by kissing.
Right.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Not because I don't want her to know the rest, but I need you to be that scared of it at this point.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So how do you get
I'm with
pregnant?
By kissing.
Okay.
Right.
Just making sure that everybody knows. Right?
I got cussed out by my
If
child's
he put his-
mother.
if he kiss you too long, he put his tongue in your mouth, you are pregnant. Please
Skip,
let
you
us
feel
know.
so good. I got cussed out by my child's mother for insinuating that my daughter kissed a boy on her birthday and got strep throat. Now if I don't know,
Oh, that's
I'm just-
mono.
Right, you know what I mean? But
Right.
hey,
But I'm just saying, because the thing is, and what I'm thankful for the school that they go to, even the conversation we were having during the break, is I'm thankful that my 11-year-old is a real 11-year-old. 11-year-olds ain't 11 no more. 11-year-olds like 14,
16.
15.
Yeah.
The conversations that they're able to have, it's like, how do you know about that? How have you ever even heard? Because
YouTube.
adults are having conversations.
number one in
Yeah, all of it.
Instagrams.
But the thing is, why you not
That's how
monitoring that?
21
Don't get me
Savage
wrong,
said,
my kids
Instagrams.
love YouTube, but I can filter what they can see
Correct.
on YouTube. But a lot of times we set these kids in front of these electronics,
And the
it's
parents
just
doing
like,
the same thing. Why the kid over there on that? The parents over there is on there like
Yeah,
that.
that's true.
Yeah.
I
I
seen a
seen
little
it.
boy having a fit in the elevator. We going up in the mall, and he cutting the food, and the mama, she holding his hand. He jumping around, and she looking like this.
Right.
We
Yeah,
all
true.
looking like, ain't no, can somebody pop him? Just pop him,
Yeah.
make him stop. But if his mama not doing it, I look crazy trying to call him to the table.
but back 40 years ago, you didn't. Because
you popped 'em.
each one teach one, and we was out, the neighborhood was a community and all that jazz.
And I think that's what we
Correct.
need to get back to. Again,
I
it's
agree.
just the village.
Do you think it's
Yeah.
gonna happen?
No.
I think
Because
it's not gonna happen if we don't all start.
it's not going to
Nowadays,
happen
it's like,
again.
you
It's
don't
not-
I ain't
tell
about to
my
whoop
child
one of them little
this
bad
It's not
ass
gonna
kids.
happen
because you're
again.
so prideful in that, and not realizing that I'm not trying to correct your child because of no parenting.
Correct.
I'm trying to correct them because
And-
guess what? If I see it, I may see something you not seeing, not because you don't care, but because you working, because
Correct.
you dealing with your own personal things and all of that, and your child is suffering behind it. So if I see, if you saw Aiden somewhere, I'm expecting Mr. DaCosta. Oh no, it's Uncle DaCosta.
Correct.
Did you hear what he said? Get yourself together. So I mean, I think that it's possible to get there. I do think that we have a ways to go because, even when some parents, even when the child is in the wrong, you don't want to hear it because seemingly it questions your parenting.
Correct.
Versus the fact of, no, it's me trying to help you because nobody else helping you. So I think we can get there. It's definitely going to be.
All we can do is what we can do. You can't really keep. We don't get anything from just talking about it, complaining about it. Whatever the solutions we have, that's what we need to put in place.
You
Know
remember
what
that
I'm
show?
saying?
That little show that used to come on at like 4 in the morning called Mr. Wizard. I used to love it. It was an educational show. It was amazing. R.I.P. Mr. Wizard, man. He used to have. It was like it was.
These kick in if you're not talking to him.
Nope.
So bring it back.
Is it
Yes,
Bill
no.
Nye?
See, this is what's so beautiful about it because that was actually a visual segue.
He used to eat
What I
paint
was doing
chips
it.
as a
Well-
kid.
Well, my favorite subject is science, and we used to have television programs, GPB, and with viewers like you, right? But we used to have those shows that used to come on, and Mr. Wizard used to come on at 5 in the morning. I used to be mad because my dad would wake me up that early, but I used to love that show, and I knew that's how I love science. And to this day, I think if we had these television shows again,
Black people.
Yeah, they might.
I watched Mr. Wizard, but I'm sure a lot of y'all have seen Mr.
because
Wizard.
the kids is
What did you
watching
say,
Love
Mr.
and Hip Hop
Wizard?
Atlanta.
I watched
No
it.
shade to
But
Love
a
and
lot
Hip
of
Hop
black
Atlanta
people
because I
probably
worked on there.
Yeah,
for
a lot of
couple
people
seasons.
watch
But
Mr. Wizard. What was wrong with that?
the thing about it is, why are they able to watch that? Because Mr. Wizard ain't gonna keep their attention if they looking at the fight of such
the drama.
these
Mr. Wizard was
drama.
dope.
That's what we have to be able to appeal
Shout out to
what
Mr.
they're
Wizard.
seeing.
Shout out to
That's the problem.
Mr.
Now
Rogers.
they've seen so much stuff that they miss it.
Shout out to
but
Lamb
when
Chops.
we interact with
Stop
them in
shouting
these
out all these
school
colonizers,
systems, that's
man.
when it's like, wait a minute, I didn't
Well,
even
see,
realize
we don't
those
got
no
things.
great
They
educators
need
like
things
that.
that are tangible because what they can pick
All
to
right.
look at, they're not looking at what we need them to look at.
Correct.
If we don't stop them or somebody's not filtering it.
Message.
Correct.
All right. Well, any more thoughts or any more feelings? I think we have all gotten our feelings out about how we feel.
We need
about
to
it.
talk
At least
about
right now.
prison
Next
to the,
chat.
I mean, school to the prison.
The segue.
With school to the prison pipe. What?
Pipeline.
Okay, see, I don't even know anything
Yeah,
about
we'll
that.
call it
Okay.
okay.
Well, see, then there we go, guys. So what we're going to go ahead and do is going to go right into the next segment. So this will be about prison reform.
Right.
And when it comes to prison reform, so the reason why this became a part of the discussion is because, like I said, I saw you online and you were taking pictures with prisoners. What was happening? What was I looking at? What was going on? Well, what happened?
Man, so first of all, it was an amazing experience because I've never been that close, you know. But mindfully, I had to say to myself, like, what am I fearing? You know, these are just regular people. Like, these are our people.
Yeah,
you know.
Sir. Yeah.
But what was happening in there was they allowed me to speak about the avenues and where I am today in life.
Right.
But like I was trying to tell you, like, but I wanted them to understand how many times I failed
Yeah.
before I made it, you know.
Right.
And that's what, because, you know, you get these speakers all the time say, yeah, I got the Bentley and the high
Right,
rise.
right,
I'm
right.
like, bruh, I
But
don't
you need the hope. You got to give them hope, man.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
the biggest thing that they need. Is,
Correct.
is
And realistic. Something
Correct.
that's
Right.
realistic. That's the
Yeah.
part.
well, at that point, I mean, any kind of hope counts. But
Right.
if it's realistic, that makes it even much more. But I mean, just the sliver of hope of knowing that there is something outside of here. You know what I mean? It's intangible and valuable.
Correct.
So what were you in there talking to them about?
I was talking to them about, you know, what was it that they missed, you know, and all of them went back to education.
Wow.
Every single one. Man, I had this young man with the tats on his face and everything. And he said, man, if I would just go back and listen to my teacher.
Wow.
This man, you know, bless his soul, man, but he was there since he was 16.
Wow.
The man is about to be 67.
What?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's crazy.
I'm addicted to watching
Man,
shows
it's-
like
and-
that.
41
It
years
hurts.
in prison. God.
Yeah, man, and it was,
sucks.
and it's things like, you know, what would you do?
Differently.
No, not differently, but
you
what
were
would you
out.
do when you blank out? What would you do when you snap?
Mm.
Because that's when everybody mess up in life. It's as soon as you snap, you know,
Right. How do you respond?
and that's when they pull out the guns, shoot, and then realize I didn't mean that.
Right.
Until the judge tell them life in prison.
And that's the crazy part, but I think that also brings it back to, I had 2 points. One with this, talking about that point, is that's where I feel like knowing and loving yourself, being able to not even allow somebody to get you to the snap. It's like, you know
It's
what?
hard, right?
It is.
That's the
But that
difference.
in
That's the
itself
difference in
is a
people. I mean,
process.
everybody has
And I
those
think
thoughts.
If you catch, right, but I think if you catch them young,
Correct.
you can filter that before they get to be that 16-year-old that ended up being in jail for 41 years. Those type of things. And then the
So what is the pipeline?
yeah.
Well, okay, so the school to prison pipeline is, so back in '96, President Bush came out with the No Child Left Behind, right? So if you think about what it means, it's like, okay, you don't leave your child behind.
Right,
So
they
the
keep
parents
on
Just
going.
school them
you know,
along,
keep
whether
schooling
they
up,
good
but-
or not.
Yeah, but if the child can't read by the time they are in or leaving the third grade, then
It's
what do you
all
think is
bad.
gonna
Yeah, that's
happen?
hard, right.
They're gonna be on a high school level on a reading on the 5th grade level.
Right.
And I thank God I got kept back. I got kept back in the 7th grade. And that's a part of my story too. Because if I didn't get kept back, then I wouldn't have known, anything. I don't know. I wouldn't have known how it feels to fail. Because we typically just keep promoting, and our brains don't go anywhere.
Yeah, it's like that. I think it's interesting to see how opportunities that were presented, they come to us when we are kind of ready for them in a way. So to have a certain level of intellect, and if I go too far, forgive me, but to have a certain level of intellect and be able to see what's in front of you, and then be able to make the right decision so that you don't end up in jail, so that you don't find yourself being short of what it is that you're trying to accomplish. So the people in jail, when you said it was the pipeline, because it sounded like a real term, like people actually the prison to school to prison pipeline is
there's a lot of similarities between the two.
And I think
organizationally wise.
So let's rock with it now that you're talking about it. So it's almost a systematic situation. In school we got to be there by 7 in the morning. Mind you, I never heard of this pipeline thing, so I'm just guessing off of context. But you got to get up in the morning, be there at a certain time. You got to ask for bathroom breaks. You got to ask for just about everything. Everything is a set schedule and time. And it's
walk on this line.
And it's the same thing as if you end up in jail, right? It's almost like conditioning you as far as time wise, and knowing that what you want to do is based on
that's not even ISS.
Right. That's the whole. ISS is the whole.
ISS the whole. It'd be so cold and then you be in the
right. You going in? Right. And Miss Diva used to have to make us put her head down.
I never just listening to you break that down. My mind never went there. That's deep.
I'm just rocking with it.
Wow.
Y'all said pipeline, so it made sense to me.
But,
all right. So, if you think about when schools was development created, right? Back in those days, they kind of developed schools to work you as what is it called? What is it?
Line leader.
No.
Teaching you skills for jobs, certain jobs. Or...
It didn't hit me.
Say it again.
All right, so back in the days, when they first came up with the whole structure, the structure of how school is, sit down and stay studious and do this other stuff. They was preparing you for the warehouse work, the chains,
right?
Industrials, you know what I'm saying? Because that was the part of that whole little era.
That's the time we were in, the Industrial Revolution, right?
But when you think about the prison, the school to prison pipeline is it's about, if you're not really educated, then your routes will go straight to the prison.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Not and I get what you're saying about the time and the bail and stuff like that. But
I figured that's what you meant by by saying that.
They didn't get it.
No, but it's cool.
Not in a bad way.
No, I don't feel like that.
I figured that's what you meant because to truly have logic and have understanding, most disagreements and altercations and all that come from misunderstandings, disagreements. Things don't know how to. It's lack of rationality. It's lack of logical. It's lack of being intelligent. You know what I mean? They're just ignorant to that because they haven't cultivated that. Wow. So, but if you're actually learning math, everything is math. Everything is numbers. So if you can understand math and you can understand quantum physics and you can understand biology and science, if your brain can already quantify and actually formulate and understand these and fathom these things, then you could easily fathom a confrontation with somebody stepping on your shoe or somebody do something. You know what I mean?
And it's
your
really
mind thinks you're not short-sighted. You actually have logic,
which goes back into what you were talking about in the beginning. How your thinking now is different than when you were younger.
Correct.
You were able to see things differently that probably wouldn't have presented themselves like that earlier before because we were just on some different stuff when we were younger.
Correct.
I think at this point, it's amazing to see. I think what makes it amazing for you being on the show is because of our environment, because our background, because so many of us, because we got stars that come from Stone Mountain, right? But every day someone gets killed in Stone Mountain. Correct. We hear it on the news. I'm sorry, but our neighborhood is not as it used to be. And to come out of that, right? And so many of our partners been in jail, was in jail since we were younger until we got older, or whatever the case may have been. To if you're someone that's in that type of circumstance or in these surroundings, how do you begin to get out of that? Especially when the cycle's already on you. You get locked up. You get, say you ain't never been locked up before. You got to sell dope because you ain't really got no money. You know what I'm saying? You might have a kid at 16 or something like that at edge of school. And so now you got to sell a little bit of weed or whatever. You get banged up, so they get put on probation. Now you're on probation. Now at least you in the system, but you out, right? Time go on. You forget. You might get into a fight. You might get caught with a bang on your tooth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. He's mad because I put
He
his tooth
toughing it
on
out.
flat.
I know he want to touch his, so he toughing it out.
Right,
My
tooth
joint.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
If I do like, I feel it.
Go ahead with
Right.
your long question, boy.
Was it a long question?
Just
Make me
bring
not
it
even
back.
want to answer no more.
Finish.
How can I'm gonna just ask the damn question. How can our environments and surroundings affect our education? So, how are the things that we've been exposed to, the things that we're around? How can we? And I don't know, the question might be too big for any one man to answer, right? So I don't want you to feel like you got to have an answer for that. But what do you think would be a way for someone who's consistently in this cycle to try to work their way out of it?
To overcome the circumstance.
Right.
So-
At least talking to the dudes that you saw. My bad.
No, I mean, I can just really go from my personal experience.
Okay.
You know, because at 17, I had my daughter.
Right.
You know, I didn't go to college straight out of high school.
Yeah.
You know, I went 4 years later after high school. But it's really,
Right.
yeah, but I went.
Right.
Right. But, well, because there was a lot of girls there. That's
Exactly.
what they told me.
Boy chasing that tail.
That's what they told me. So, I, you know,
Chasing that tail.
Right.
But seriously, though, it was tough, though, trying to get out of that mindset because, you know, my whole circle was, you know, the drug dealers, the drinkers, you know what I'm saying? And it looks cool, right? You know what I'm saying? You having fun.
From what you see,
Yeah, from what you see. And then when people talk about education, it's like,
Anybody trying to hear that?
I'm trying to get this
right,
money.
right.
You know what I mean?
Especially
But
when
then
they
it's
get
like, once you keep going back into these same circles all over again. Okay, you do rad,
still doing the
you going to
same
jail,
thing. Still doing the
you
same
doing that.
I'm gonna tell you what. I'm gonna tell you why education isn't glorified in our community.
Correct.
All right, education it's gonna take a long time before you get any gratification out of education. You know what I'm saying? People want instant gratification. Like you say, buddy got to do what he got to do. He out there, he go sell drugs or he does this or rob somebody, something. Boom, they want the money right then. That education, you're not gonna reap the benefits for a while.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You gotta be long-sighted, and you know what I mean. So that's why it's like they just, like you say, it's actually a need. They need it right then, so it's trying to survive mode.
Correct.
But you know, they like, man, like you say,
Correct.
I got to worry about this test. I got all this stuff dealing with at home, and I ain't studying this test, not knowing like you planting the seeds for your future right now.
Correct.
This is very important.
And I know you brought up like ISS too, right?
Right,
'Cause
right.
like, you know, when you look at ISS, man, it looks like a prison cell, right?
Right.
But actually, that's what I'm working on, ISS reform as well. You know, because I had to after I won
like how
the
you
election,
did
I
that.
had to like resign from the cab, and I was placed in the ISS, and I was now the ISS teacher.
Right.
Wow.
Yeah, man, it was crazy because the
I
kids
was
had all these
always in there,
stories,
man.
man. and,
About what was going on.
you know
They
what's
just
going
give you a
on,
big
but-
pamphlet of work, and they don't teach those kids nothing. They just give them a pack of work. Say, here, do this.
Y'all get working ISS?
Yeah,
Yeah, they.
but
You didn't get nothing. You
But
just sit
people
in there and
wouldn't do
be
it,
quiet,
though.
put your head down, and go to
yeah,
sleep.
no,
But
it
what
wasn't
you-
the way that I ran that system though, man.
So you
Yeah, I ain't running. That's how it is though. I didn't run it that way.
But you did it like a class. You was actually
Nah, man. I did it like it was rehab.
right,
Oh wow.
Okay.
Really.
So, how did
Meaning-
that work?
right.
Man, you know, getting the response from the kid. You go to ISS, you mad. I mean, you just mad for no
Yeah,
reason.
yeah.
Then you got to sit at a block, right? And then you tell them, you're not about to do work regardless. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do
The
his
last
work.
thing I'm finna do this.
But it was really more of an opportunity to educate them about what is going on. You know, and then that's when those stories come out. Like, Mr. DaCosta, you know, really, I just got this boyfriend that's doing this. Well, let's talk about it.
Right.
You know, here's some ways or here are the resources that you can get out of it. Next thing you know, the numbers from, you know, say we have 10 people, the same kids coming into ISS all the time, it decreased it to 1. because they just really need that time to really express themselves, to vent, to understand.
They need it.
I was gonna say that too.
Same thing.
Yeah.
So imagine looking at. ISS, you're dealing with the same kids. I mean, it's not gonna be nobody different. You know what I'm saying? It's the same exact one.
Oh, so you're back in jail again, huh?
And the only attention that the teacher in there does give you is when they suspend you. They go to the office. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
Now you about to get suspended for real.
They looking for those to put something into them that they're not getting in the classroom. And some of them at one point probably were coming because that was the only time that they had somebody that would listen to what was going on.
Yeah. So, they come in there because, like the school to prison pipeline, again, they don't know the work.
Right.
So what do you do when you don't know the work? You act up to get out the class.
Exactly. Right. And sometimes, even if you're not acting up, if you're not
doing
over the program, let me send you out of here.
Let me just go ahead and just get you out. But, my goal was to really save these kids because they remind me of myself, man. Yeah. ISS with Coach Robinson back in the middle school.
Man, what?
I don't know if you remember.
They always had the coaches. All the coaches was the ISS people.
They already had to do nothing. You don't got to do nothing but sit in there and read.
That's right.
All the intellectual people. Look, I got friends that are coaches.
It's
not saying
so
that y'all ain't smart.
cold in ISS. It be cold in that jump, boy.
I used to love ISS, to be honest, because we used to go to, okay.
That's where you get them ratchet girls with them notes.
Let's get ourselves to where we're about to get to our last segment where we're going to start wrapping it up.
And so, break, Playboy?
I mean, before we even get
take a pain pill, BC powder.
Some BC powder.
All right. I got about 18 of them.
All right.
So how can we educate one another?
Come together.
Story to the table.
Educate each other.
Oh, I was going to say, I don't know. That's a broad question, man.
How can we come together?
Starts with the curriculum.
Absolutely.
Starts with a curriculum.
About educating one another.
By coming together, how can we come together and educate one another to make our village?
Well, my answer would be educating ourselves first and foremost.
That's what I was about to say. Yeah. And your surrounding, just because really I don't like to be the smartest person in the room.
Right.
Once you realize that you're the smartest person in the room, then you don't need to be there.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, but
I agree.
Yeah, but my circle is kind of different now. We have these conversations though.
Yeah.
These table talks, just like this. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And that's how we, like you didn't know about the school to prison pipeline, but I guarantee you, by the time you leave here, you can talk about it.
Right. Absolutely.
But really, mysteriously, we're educating each other.
Yeah.
Always.
But it's through I think my answer to that would be through conversation, and the other part would be to be open-minded. I think one of the issues is so many people. I say this every time I go somewhere and talk. People say, "Yeah, I just want to be able to think outside of the box." Well, let me implore you to think about it differently. Yeah. Don't think outside of the box. Take yourself out. There is no proverbial box.
Correct. You got to look at it.
I say it's like a mind. People have put their brains in a box. They've literally taken it and said, okay, well, they said I couldn't do this, so there's a wall here. They said I couldn't do that, so there's a wall here. Now your brain has been boxed in. And what I tell my students when I talk to them all the time is understand that the box that you built is sheetrock. It's not bricks. It's sheetrock. So it's easy to break. You put some force to it, you can break it. And I think that's how we can educate one another is to remove the proverbial box so that we can all be open-minded to be able to be poured in. Because if you're open, that means you can let things go out and let things come in. So yeah,
that's what it means to be open. Let things out and let things in. No, but all jokes aside, and what's important about it all is I think that at this point, for one, education is important to us all, and it's important that we make sure that we employ that upon our children, and not just the traditional education of what it is. Learn what it is that you want, and the beauty of now, living in 2018, as opposed to coming up when we were coming up, was you have is you have access to anything you want to know. There's YouTube, Google, at your fingertips, so you can learn it anytime, whenever. Me and cousin Kev spend a lot of nights up 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, having conversations about whatever. Of course, they usually are drug and alcohol induced, but we end up teaching ourselves some things, we'll have these elongated conversations over time, and this is what you were just talking about. these conversations must go on. You learn for yourself first, and then you talk to someone or other people, and y'all continue to push that conversation.
Correct.
And you educate each other. If y'all do that and share this level of education, then you also do a really good job of keeping everybody out of jail. I don't know. I didn't have a better way to put that. You know what I mean? But was that okay? Was that okay? Kind of. Yeah. All right. I had to get permission.
Hopefully.
Right. Hopefully, for the most part. So, out of everything, because we are about to go ahead and start wrapping this up. This has been a very, very good show.
Absolutely.
Indubitably.
What do we do as parents, as teachers, as members of society, as politicians, as entertainers, as construction workers? What do we do? Hustlers, entertainers. I mean, when I say entrepreneurs, I tried to say that.
You said construction.
What do we do? Not only to make the situation better, not only for the kids, but to try to keep them out of school. Because I would ask, what can we do for prison reform? But that's a question that none of us can really answer right now. We would need to be in prison for one.
It would be the court system would just have to, the sentencing would need to be changed. A lot of statutes
The
and
thing
stuff.
is,
It
we
would start
need
with
to
that
meet them
first.
before they get there, and those that are coming out, there's some things
Should
that
be some
need to
steps
be
while
in
they
place.
in there.
Right? Yeah.
Why they in there?
What was
Learn.
interesting about that prison, they had the gentleman that was serving life was mentoring the ones that was coming in.
Yeah, they do that.
So I think they we're years behind on it, but I
They
think
got
they're
people
trying
down on
really
Wright
do,
Street.
man.
They got people down in Atlanta
Yeah.
like that. Like people that come.
Jeez,
A lot of people only come in for 3 months, 6 months, but it's somebody in there with them that's like been there for 40 years.
Yeah.
And
They ain't
Sadly,
even
sometimes
sent them to
that's the
prison.
only
They just keep
time
them
that
there.
they really get it.
Right.
Correct.
It takes so long for you just get a date. Go ahead.
But I was about to answer your question though. I'm sorry, that was just on my mind.
No, you
was
speaking.
like,
I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No, it's all good.
Anytime we cut you off.
it was you asked like what can we all kind of do. So I look at it as this, this is the number one goal. You know what I'm saying? Just to make sure that we wholly teach our kids, about the great success of society, what it offers, but I can only use my platform but so much. Like you're funny, man. I'm trying to laugh, but my tooth hurt. You know what I mean?
Sorry.
But but it's great. I like that because I can't do that to these kids. So that would your piece come in at. It's really
I can't
like
talk
tag
about
team.
laws. I can't remember them statutes and all that stuff. I can't do it.
No, but
That's what I could do.
but seriously, just tag teaming.
Right.
Yeah.
Just allowing your expertise.
Yeah, it's every role. Everybody plays a
Play
role.
that part.
Right.
And nobody, I'm humble enough to come down to anybody. I'm
Which I
not
appreciate it. Yeah,
No,
I appreciate you coming here to talk about this because
anytime.
this kind of conversation don't happen, man. It doesn't happen.
Correct.
And there's people in jail right now that we need steps to help them before they get in there. And once they in there, we need to try to figure out ways to help them get out. Like once they do finally get out,
Yeah, the transition, right.
How the hell do you get to go to jail, but you end up the same way or not worse than when you know what I'm saying? When you go back in there, then when you
System.
It's
man.
there's nothing in there to help people really learn and to learn new trades for real. There's nothing in there to help people start feeling better about themselves. I wish they would do yoga and meditation and little stuff like that.
They do in Switzerland has one of the nicest ones.
Yeah,
They
I'm
do
not
yoga
trying to
in
go
prison?
to jail. Yeah, in prison.
Yeah, so
I'm not
America
trying to go to
adopts
jail in
Sweden.
prison to do yoga.
I mean, if
but-
it is, let's go to Switzerland. I'd like to go to
Yeah, no.
Switzerland.
But today's show has been amazing. Thank you so much, Mr. DaCosta, for coming and gracing us with your presence, but also just your story. Some of the best parts that I found about your story is that you always have been mindful to share your failures.
Correct.
And to me, even with the prison piece that you were speaking of, it tells them that guess what? Even though I failed, I kept going. And sometimes that's the thing. People don't get that piece about I found success even in
just
my
came.
failure. In my
Correct.
failure, I saw things that I needed to fix. So I was like, okay, so I failed at this. Now I need to go and do this. So I think that's awesome.
I appreciate it.
Again, I appreciate you so much for coming.
that.
You guys, how y'all feeling about today's show?
Man, I feel
Great
good,
show.
man. I just
Great
rubbed
show.
my ears so tough.
I feel like there's a
man. It's
lot of good topics. Got a good education in there.
massage
Anything y'all not familiar with, please Google and do some research for yourself to familiarize yourself with that.
Right.
Each one teach one.
So as we wrapping up today, just that final message for you guys. Remember that we are a village. Get involved in yours. Find out a way. I say this almost every show, is that we are trying to be the change that we want to see in the world. And if you want to be that change, all it takes is for you to step out. You make a difference. So many times people are looking to see how they can be famous and all of that, but you can be famous in your own community. You can be famous in your own home. You can be famous in the world, but you have to start somewhere. So today we talked about education and the prison pipeline. We had Mr. DaCosta, which we thank him so very much.
Right, but hold on, man, because you leave it up to her. We'll be out of here quick. And I know Shay wants us out of here and all that good stuff. But first and foremost, bro, D, where can we find you? Where can we contact you? What in, huh?
I was gonna do it.
Okay, I didn't know, man. It sounded like she was gonna wrap it up. Like
I was wrapping. I was gonna leave him with the final thought after I wrap.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well then, okay.
So back to what I was saying. We just want you guys to remember that That's How You Feel is a platform for you to say how you feel. Even my crazy little brother over here. But we just want to thank you guys for paying attention and listening. Hopefully something that was said here will change the trajectory in which you're going, will make you be more involved in your children's lives. Some people don't even have children, but you're the auntie or somebody's looking up at you. Be able to be the change and be the example. Mr. DaCosta is going to close us out today. He's going to let us know where we can reach him at and how we can follow him, and even the more so of how we can also volunteer for his amazing program.
Thank you. So you can follow me on Instagram at the Dekalb Kids Project. Facebook is the Dekalb Kids Project, and website is dekalbkidsproject.org. January I'll get inaugurated. Then you can follow me on Facebook, just Diijon DaCosta, right?
And that sounded real official, man. It's like in January I get inaugurated. Yeah, I want to get inaugurated. Like,
you should come though, man.
Yeah,
that should come.
We invite. Okay, that's a bet.
Seriously.
Okay.
Okay. To be packed out, y'all my people.
Let's go.
Definitely be there.
Man. But yeah. My email address is dacosta.decab@gmail.com. So that's what I'm working with. Yeah,
all right, and again, we thank you guys for Mr. DaCosta. So this is K. McCole signing off. We got Chucky D Love.
We got Chucky Love right here, man. Y'all already know it.
And we out. And that's how we feel.
Okay. B.I.